thank you to both of them. Yes. Yeah, this is a perfect time to just take a deep breath and settle into the space and to knowing that peace is right where we are, love is right where we are, no matter what happened before this or coming, doesn't matter, it's right here and right now. So let's just take a moment of silence for that peace within. It starts right in our hearts and then just moves out into the world. And so I know that that peace is right where we are, and right at this moment is filling this planet with that consciousness of peace. And so it is. Here you are in the Center for Spiritual Living, and I don't think we introduced Kaban and David and Jonathan over there on sound. And I want to welcome you to what we call the Center for Spiritual Living, which is basically a universal, interdenominational, however you want to put it, interfaith teaching that just says that God is everywhere, in and through everything. We use the word God to mean source, divine energy, whatever word works for you. There's one presence, and I really noticed it when we were at the National Day of Prayer a couple of weeks ago when everyone was praying in their different prayers. You could just feel it permeating the air that we're all saying the same thing. And we've let things divide us, but really we're all saying the same thing. And that's what our founder, Ernest Holmes, wanted us all to know, is that there's one presence, one light. Nobody owns it, but everybody is it. So we come to celebrate that today and bring it out into our lives.
Beautiful. We are it. So aloha again.
Aloha.
So who is here for the very first time? That's it. Raise the hands high.
You have to stand up.
Will you stand up for just a moment?
We want to acknowledge you.
Welcome.
And to give you our blessings. And we want to go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
And we want to tell you something about yourselves.
Yes, we do. But you probably already know it, but in case you don't, here you go. Take a nice deep breath. You are magnificent. yeah, you knew it, didn't you? She goes, oh, isn't that always a relief? Thank you so much for joining us today. And we know that about you because we know that about ourselves. As we know, we will not know peace until we know peace within ourselves. We will not know love until we take the time to love ourselves. And it's a cliche perhaps, but it's a cliche that needs to be said over and over again until it just infuses every fiber, every cell of our being. So we know that because, shall we say it together? I am magnificent. And there's a camera up there, and also Ron behind the camera. And there's a whole bunch of people all over the world, and that's true now because they've let us know, that are watching us. So as I always say, what happens at CSL Kauai no longer stays at CSL Kauai because they are there. So let's let them know that they are magnificent. You are magnificent. Now look to your left, to your right, wherever you want to look. Let somebody know it. Let somebody know it. Maria, I know you're magnificent. I know you're magnificent.
You are magnificent. You are
Jonathan's magnificent. You're magnificent. This beautiful lady's magnificent. These sound really good. All right, let's take that magnificence. Let's stand up and let's open this up with a wonderful opening song. Okay.
Love will show you the way. 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 Love will show you the way.
What I know in this moment, taking time to breathe in this thing called love, this thing called life. And as we celebrate this thing called Mother's Day, we know that within each and every one of us is that birth of creation, that birth of new ideas, that birth of life itself continuing, always continuing. So knowing that we have all come together today in this moment on purpose, we have been divinely guided to this very moment, this sacred moment, that we just remember who and what we are. We come together as Ohana, we come together as family, we come together as individual lights, making just one light, and that is the light of good, the light of God. It doesn't matter what you call it, because it is everything, seen and unseen. So we go forth in this wonderful time of celebration, remembering, rejoicing, celebrating the very essence of who and what we are. And I just say mahalo. Mahalo from the very depths of who I am, from the depths of each and every one of us. We come together and say with such gratitude, and so it is. So
Now is the time we must each find a way. Be who we're here to be all the way. So let your radiance shine, shine on all you see, shine on all the land and community. Love will show you the way. 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 Love will show you the way.
So in this time of centering, I chose to combine a poem from Hafiz, one of my favorite poets, who was a 14th century Persian poet, mystic, along with a beautiful new song that I had found actually on YouTube. So there'll be a combination taking us into prayer. So again, Hafiz. Fear is the cheapest room in the house. I would like to see you living in better conditions. For your mother and my mother were friends. I know the innkeeper in this part of the universe. Get some rest tonight. Come to my verse again tomorrow. We'll go speak to the friend together. I should not make any promises right now, but I know if you pray, somewhere in this world, something good will happen. God wants to see more love and playfulness in your eyes, for that is your greatest witness to him and her. Your soul and my soul once sat together in the beloved's womb, playing footsie. Let's do that again. Your soul and my soul once sat together in the beloved's womb, playing footsie. Your heart and my heart are very, very old friends. So taking this into silence and just staying with these words, for there is a space that exists with us and around us, where angels sing on rays of light, on rays of light. And love pours forth from the heart of the universe, from the heart of the universe. And so it is in that space from the heart of the universe that we take the time to move into this space that exists around us, through us, all around us, and everywhere. Absolutely recognizing, remembering, and knowing that this is that divine creation that has created all of us. Not only all of us, but every blade of grass, every drop in the ocean, every person, planet, thing that has ever existed and will continue to exist throughout all time. That is from what you are made. So as we step into that wonder and awe of this creation, we absolutely know that we are connected with this one power and presence. For each breath we take is proof that we are it, that we live it, that we move through it. And so we give gratitude this day for the opportunity to live it, to breathe it, to share it, to enter into this space. Absolutely knowing that each and every one of us is a divine expression of this one heart, this one love, this one center of the universe. And so I am grateful. I am grateful for this light, for this love, for this universe, for this day, for this divine energy, for this divine mother, divine feminine energy that we celebrate today. And knowing that that divine energy is everywhere around us and through us. So I am grateful. And so I release my word into the law, knowing that it is true, that it is manifest, and that each and every one of us are a divine light, shedding our light and our love throughout the world. So I release it and let it go and let it be. And please affirm this truth with me by sharing. And so it is. So it is.
And continuing in this space, just allow this space to continue. And we will sing a chant that we sing every week, so it's in your program.
I will be gentle with myself, I will love myself. I am a child of the universe, being born each moment. I will be gentle with myself, I will love myself. I am a child of the universe, being born each moment. I will be gentle with myself, I will love myself. I am a child of the universe, being born each moment. I will be gentle with myself, I will love myself. I am a child of the universe, being born each moment. I will will be gentle with myself. I will love myself. I am a child of the universe, being born each moment.
Thank you, Kaban and David, and thank you, Deborah, so much for setting a beautiful, beautiful tone to all of this. How does it feel to say that to yourself? I will be gentle with myself. I will love myself. It's so important. Sometimes we some of us, maybe rebel against that, but sometimes we're called narcissistic because we love ourselves. But it's the most important place to start, because if we can't love ourselves, how can we love others, right? It comes from that place within ourselves. So I'm grateful for that song. Thank you. So, ooh, yay. The Mother's Day calls are coming in. Yeah, the Mother's Day calls. So, I have so many different feelings about holidays as a minister and as running a center and having to get up here and speak on different holidays, because I know different holidays come with different feelings, and everybody has different feelings about them. And I'm going, how can I find the middle ground of making it mean something and making it good for everybody that walks in the door? And Mother's Day is one of those days, and so's Father's Day, when everybody has different feelings about it, right? And so like I said, I try to find the common ground. So the common ground for me with Mother's Day is to recognize, oh yes, I recognize mothers, and I recognize that we've all nurtured somebody in our life, and I recognize that, one of my dearest friends, he brought up both his daughters by himself. So I recognize anybody can be a nurturing presence in anyone's life, and that for me, it's not just relegated to mothers that are biological mothers. It's everyone. Although I respect biological mothers, I happen to be one myself and a grandmother. But anyway, so I looked up Anna Jarvis. Does anybody know who she is? Okay, I didn't know until this morning, which is interesting. And it's not really a very happy story, but she is the person responsible for bringing Mother's Day as a national holiday, or not as putting it on the calendar in the United States. And it started out in her mind. She lost her mother at an early age, and it started out as a way for her to honor all mothers and how they sacrificed for their children. And she felt that it was something very, very personal, and she wanted it to be personal, like mothers with their children. That was a very personal thing. But what ended up happening was it started to become really popular, and all the businesses started to buy into it, and everybody started to make it really commercial, and she got really ticked off. Really, really. I read the story about this lady. It was really interesting, and she spent her whole life pretty much fighting that. She had conceived of an idea. It didn't exactly go the way she thought it should go. Expectations, right? Which can be very damaging sometimes, and we're talking about expectations today. And then she spent her whole life in a bitterness about how it transpired, and trying to fight it the whole time. So what did I get out of that? I don't want to stay with that story very long, but I got the idea that we create things and we get these divine ideas. We're always giving birth to something at all times. There's not one moment in our life where we are not giving birth, and we are always expecting. And that was just an example of someone who was expecting and did something really great and then just had to clutch it. And how many times do we sometimes have an idea and then we just kind of hold onto it and kind of strangle it a little bit? But it didn't matter, because the idea she had was a universal idea, and she really couldn't stop it. It's kind of like, the way I feel about this center is Patrick and I, it was a divine idea in our minds at one point in 2012, but now it's starting to snowball, and we can't, snowballing, and that is getting bigger. It's a bigger and bigger idea, and I always have to, that's why I love Reverend Diane's workshop, The Visioning, that, there's a bigger idea at all times for us. So we kind of have to just be open and to be able to let go, stay focused, on the truth and stay focused on that amazing thing that's coming through us at all times, but don't get so hooked into how it's going to happen and what it's going to turn into, because it could turn into something really amazing. And sometimes we're afraid of that. Like sometimes, we don't want it to be too big. It might be too big. I started a lot of businesses when I was younger, and they'd get to a point, and I'd always cut them off because I didn't know how to take them to the next level. And I was kind of scared. So you got to trust. We got to trust that power within us that put the idea there to begin with, it's a divine idea, has everything to bring it into manifestation and to take it and carry it forth. So I might have sounded a little negative about Mother's Day, but I do have my own mother. And I did call her this morning. I love her dearly, and she's getting ready to go into assisted living, so that's always an interesting time in the life of a family when that starts to happen. But and it doesn't have to be, like I'm saying, it doesn't have to be a morbid thing. It can be a really good thing, and it's unfolding perfectly for her in every moment, and I always know that for her. But she said something so nice to me this morning. I want to share it with you. It made me cry. She said, because I'm the first child, she said, "You were my love child." She said, and "Your dad just put his hands on me and you came out." I was like, now she didn't, I don't know. And she goes, I don't want to discredit my other children. I said, "Don't worry, Mom, I won't tell anybody." Okay. They don't watch anyway, so it's all right. Anyway, it just touched my heart, and I just was like, oh, and she never really said anything like that to me before. It made me feel it was good, because my mother can be very private. So anyway, yeah, so. So Ernest Holmes wrote that within us is the unborn possibility of limitless experience. Ours is the privilege of giving birth to it. Do you believe that? Think about it, contemplate it, like work on it all week, that idea that within us is the unborn possibility of limitless experience. We don't have to limit it. And if we do limit it, like Miss Jarvis might have limited it at some point, or tried to make it something, it still took off. So there's all these divine ideas that are just floating around, and some of them are ours, and we need to just take them and give birth to them. And I was like, and we don't have to know how it's going to happen. I was out walking with someone the other night. He's here in the audience, but I won't pull him out. But we were talking about flowers, and he goes, like, did you ever think of the color of a flower? Like, how did it get to be that way? How did each flower get to be this different color? Just one flower, and it's got all. What did that? What made that happen? We don't really know the mystery of life, but we do know it's all around us, and we can see it, and we don't. There would be no reason in our hearts to deny it, because it's being made obvious to us. So I just love that idea of who put the color in a flower. That's the same power that we have, because we're all one and we're all united in that power. We all have that power within us. And I celebrate that power today that's within us. That it's the divine feminine energy, we call it well, many people call it that, but we all have it, whether we're men and we're women. We have the creativity of spirit within us that's constantly giving birth within us. So our only part in this whole thing is to accept the ideas, get the ideas, let the ideas flow through us, catch the ideas, have intentions if you want. But once we get those intentions for what it is, and and as Ernest Holmes says, if it hurts no man, it hurts no woman. It's constructive, that there's no limit to what we can do, because anything else, life does not go against itself. Life is life. It's just life, and it can't go against itself. And when it tries to go against itself, and I know it's hot in here, and I don't know why, but I'm feeling it. Maybe it's these lights, or maybe I'm just getting excited here. But okay, Ron. I didn't mean it that way. All right, so where was I? Now I'm all disturbed. So once we get that idea within us, we just have to let it go. Let it happen, put it out. And then what's going to happen is we're going to get other ideas and we're going to know what to do, because once we get in tune with the energy, like before I got up here today, I was a little kind of nervous. I don't know why, but I was feeling like maybe I was doing it. And as soon as you think you're doing it, then that's when all the havoc, And so I said, no, you know what? And I remembered Ernest Holmes going, just relax into it. So can you just relax into your idea and just realize that you're expecting? And, you're expecting. And when people are expecting, there's all kinds of things that happen to them. And those things, I have them here written down, some of them. See if I can, of course I can't because I have so many notes, it's ridiculous, and I never use them. But I'll just remember them. Okay, so what are some of the things you get when you're expecting, really expecting? You get morning sickness, right? Some people do. All right. Well, you get morning sickness too when you have creative ideas, because you have to get rid of everything that's standing in the way of that idea. And sometimes it doesn't feel good. You get cravings. Apparently, I liked apples a lot when I was pregnant with my daughter. I don't know. I ate so many apples, it was like crazy. And then I wouldn't drink any coffee. So your body knows, your intuition knows when you get those cravings to do something that, that's what you're supposed to do. And I'm bringing this now metaphorically. I hope you get that. And then the other thing was, what else happens to you? Sometimes you're sleepless and uncomfortable. Well, sometimes that does happen when you're creating something new. You get sleepless. You start to doubt. You start to not be able to sleep at night because you're worried. And that's the kind of stuff you need to just I call it pray it out. Just pray it out. Because when you pray it out, it goes into the nothingness from which it came. Because that's just the small part of yourself saying, you know what, this is too big for me, or no, pray it out. And then what else? You want it to happen now. My first daughter was 16 days late. I used to ride over the railroad tracks with my girlfriend. She thought, I don't know, I was only 21 years old. So I was like, okay, let's do something because this is powerful. How many times when we're trying to birth something, we want it so bad right now, we'll do anything and we'll be pulling it out. If I had pulled my daughter out at that point, she was only 6'3" when she was born. So, the ideas come and they're birthed at the right, perfect time. So that's another important thing to remember. Any other symptoms you can think of? Nausea, sleeplessness, cravings. Oh, maybe this lady over here knows. Anyway. What was that? Swollen ankles. I don't know. Actually, can we make a metaphor out of that? Well, sometimes we just get so big with our idea that we swell up. Okay. So that's about all that I have for you with that today. But my major message is just, we're all expecting. We're all that divine energy. We're all amazing. We say I am magnificent. It is not conceited. It is saying the truth about ourselves. How could we not be magnificent when we're a divine idea in the mind of God, in the mind of spirit, in the mind of light, whatever you want to call it, that's who we are. So I say Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Yes. And just stay in that expectancy of good, because that's where you want to be, and watch your life unfold from that place. No matter what it looks like, it's always going to be unfolding from that place, because no matter what shows up, it's part of it. Once you set an intention, no matter what shows up, it's part of that answer. Part of that answer, yes, I think I'm done. All right, so I just say Happy Mother's Day and aloha.
Happy Mother's Day. Delicate balance of a butterfly wing.
Oh, mahalo. And they're taking off this week for a while, so they'll be back in the fall. Aloha Island, right? Aloha Island. Now I've got this song stuck in my head now. Love Child. I'll stop there. Wow. Mother's Day. Now, surprisingly enough, for those of you who have been here since the beginning, I've been through a lot with my mom and her transition and everything, would think that today would be the day that I would talk about her. And I will, but very briefly, because I'm just in gratitude for her today. That's all. I've worked and processed. And it's just a beautiful feeling to know that I was looking in the mirror the other day, and it was one of those moments, not looking in it like I can't wait to look at myself moment. It was like I looked in the mirror, and I saw my mom, and I went, "What you doing here?" No, I didn't. No, I said, "Wow," and I just looked again, and I went, "Oh, that's how close she is in this moment. That's how close she is. I'm a vehicle for her to see out of my eyes." And that's a really, really close feeling. So this week I've been thinking a lot about, it came off on the Kaua'i path, of course, as it always does. And it's really funny, I see the fans going, but I'm sitting over here and I go, wow, I've got like a chill going on, like an automatic air conditioning. Don't be jealous. No. But today, this week, a lot of child stuff has been coming up, which is fine with me. And I looked, and this wonderful idea for this talk came, and I said, I need a poem or I need a quote that really matches this vibration that I'm having. And I looked and I looked and I looked, and usually I can find it in a moment. And I said, well, what happens when you cannot find one? You just write it yourself. That's how I look at it. So I wanted a poem for today. And so I wrote one to talk about it. That tree at my Nana's house was so big, with its sturdy branches strong enough to support 100 kids just like me. I remember looking up and all I could see was the blue sky peeking out of the branches at the top. That big tree was made for little boys just like me to climb. And I could hear that tree calling me to climb. Climb me, climb me. And so were all my friends who were making their way up to get a closer look at heaven. You can do this. You can do it. It's great up here. You're going to love it. They shouted down to me. I can't. I can't. I can't. You go on. Frozen in fear and shame was that little boy as he decided between climbing the tree or staying safe on the ground. I remember being torn by the call to climb and my mom's voice, firm but kind, telling me that I was not to get hurt while she was at work because she would not be able to leave her job to help me. It was an expectation set in place. I knew if I had climbed and fell, that the agreement with my mom would have been broken. I could not take that chance. What if I fell and the prophecy came true? How many times I stood at the bottom of that tree and gripped the trunk as I put my little hands on that first branch, hoping that one day I would have the courage to climb, to let go of the false fear that gripped me and that I had now began to accept as my truth. That little boy grew up and now as a young man returned to that big tree at his Nana's house to find that it had been cut down. His ladder to heaven was gone, and all that was left was a big stump. As the little man sat on the top of that stump, he wondered, what would it have been like to let go of that fear? That fear that was really not his to begin with. What would it have been like to climb that big, big tree? Now, as I look back and I look at the tree of my life today, I call that little boy forth and tell him, I am so sorry we never climbed that big tree to heaven together. And then a sense of peace comes over me. I can hear that little boy's voice loud and clear from time and space, whispering gently, oh, don't you see? I did climb that tree. Every time we stood at the bottom looking up, I did climb that tree in my mind's eye every time. Look over there. There's that little boy as he shouts. There's a big new tree that has grown. Are you now ready to climb? Huh. Yeah. Nice. You know, when you write it, you think, oh, I'm writing it, and you're feeling it, and you get up and you go, oh, no, this could go somewhere. Yeah. And I'm not making fun of it. I'm not joking. That little boy came forth this week, and I was able to really look at it about this idea of whose expectations. And this isn't about the blame game for Mama either. Mama was working and she knew what she had to do, and you needed to stay safe. But I was watching what came about from that. I never climbed that tree, but I never climbed any tree. And I love tree houses. I'd never been in one. Yeah. And so this isn't about poor Patrick. He never climbed a tree. This isn't about that. This is about power. This is about that it doesn't matter what the physicality, the physical tree was. I've climbed a lot of trees in my life. And all I can remember from that experience, and I think that this is a great metaphor for all of us. I remember that those sturdy branches, that it wasn't dangerous except in my own mind, and that I was fulfilling something for my mom. And I remember as they climbed up. And you know what's interesting is the story probably isn't as accurate as I try to make it, because I give it a little something for you, like they all said, come up, come up. They were probably saying, what are you doing? Sissy. You know, they probably did all that, but since I'm the writer, I chose my own remembrance of it. And I remember thinking how sturdy the branches and how high they went up there. And what's interesting is I have a fear of heights. Really? And I'm thinking, I don't even know if that's mine. I don't even know if I have a fear of heights. I just couldn't climb a tree. So I think we can really get into that in our lives to say, what's mine to own? What's mine to birth? What is mine? And it's great. Because just having a birthday recently, if you didn't know that, I accept gifts all month, so don't worry. What I've realized is that there is this wondrous tree of life. And we get to climb it any time. Look, there's a new tree. And I was laughing because I sat on that stump, right? And, you know, the energy of that, it was so big, it was probably an oak or something. And I remember thinking this morning, as I was sitting on it in my mind's eye, I thought, oh my God, I did make it to the top. I'm pulling at branches here, I know. Hey, I will let that be my top. And I thought to myself, this is a perfect day for expectations. What do I expect now? And the most important message that I get out of it, and I always ask, what is mine to know and what is mine to share? But what I need to know for myself is that the past is gone. And if I keep bringing up the stump, that's exactly the way my life is going to be. There's nothing wrong with creating a poem. There's nothing wrong with having the vulnerability, the daringness to stand in front of your family and people you know and don't know until now. And be daring enough to do that. That's climbing a big tree in a lot of lives, trust me. But what I do know is that that is my story. That's my story. We get the opportunity day by day, moment to moment, to write a new story. And that little boy that lives inside of me was so strong enough to say, get over it, man. We got trees to climb now. Nana's gone, the tree's gone, your mom is gone, and that's okay, keep them with us, but we got trees to climb. I think of Sabina and William there, as our child comes into our ohana very soon, and they don't know the sex of the light being that's coming forth, and that's great, right? I mean, why not? It's like, what are you expecting? We're expecting a wonderful, healthy, wonderful child of light to enter this world. And if it's a boy, I'm going to teach him to climb a tree. No, I'm kidding. If it's a boy, I'm going to teach her to climb a tree. PC. And here's one last, in this, it was really funny because I have a line in there that said, this is a tree fit for a little boy to climb. And my mind, when I was writing it, said, or girl. And I said, this is my story. And today it's about my little boy. And so that's where it was with that. But I do honor that too. We must allow this divine expression to come forth. So I really thank you as I continue my growth and as I continue to explore myself and climb my trees. I just know that our example of our lives can be an example for you in your life. That's the only reason why we're here. That's why Rita and I are here in this center, because we want to be living examples of what it's like to dare to stand and really authentically give yourself. It's such a gift. It's such a gift when you all give that. So let's birth ourselves today, shall we? Let's not pretend like we know it all. Let's not pretend that we've climbed all those trees. Let's start fresh, birth right here, right now, with new ideas. Bless the past, carry our ancestors, bring them forth, but don't live back there for me, no. Bring forth that energy of our ancestors, of all of the life that has gone on before. Bring it forth. Bring it forth. I'm just taking a good look at what I'm seeing here. Namaste. I love you.
So, this is our time of affirmative giving, of sacred giving. Thank you in advance for everything that comes into the center and also goes out to heal and prosper and bless not just the center, but the global community. And every month we tithe 10% of what we collect out into the world. And so we were able to Janice's fund this month because of you, and all kinds of things that we do here.
And
Gate Park, and yes.
If you don't mind, I just want to take a moment and I always forget actually, to thank the people online as well that are watching today, because there are many people, we have family off island as well, that are really big contributors, because when they do come in to see their family, they do want to make sure that we're here for them. So it's so important to acknowledge our family here, but to know that we're a global family. How cool is that? Not every center is a global center. We are. I mean, it helps that we live in this wonderful island in the middle of the Pacific. But I just want to take a time to just mahalo to you and mahalo to them out there as well.
Yeah. So there's an affirmation in your program. So if you want to just Hold your consciousness to your chest and just repeat with me. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I give freely today, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And it does. And so it is. There's a song in your program.
Our love brings beauty and joy. Our love brings beauty and joy. Our love. Our love brings beauty and joy. Our love brings beauty and joy. Our love.
And so it is with this sense of gratitude that we accept these generous gifts from each and every one of you, knowing that these gifts represent your unique talents and dedication to this center. And so we accept these gifts with love, knowing that they will be used in the most beneficial way to spread this love throughout the planet. So we are blessed, we are grateful. We let it go and let it be. Thank you. Blessed it is.
All right. The children are going to come up, and I wanted just to give a little thing about Janice because Marco texted me, and if you want the address of where she is, I can give it to you. I've got it on my phone. All right? So come on up. Let us see these beautiful light beings. Yay.
Darling kids. All right, they were doing something here, little work. It says Mom. Ah. And then they did a picture that says, I love you, my mom. She's very thankful. And now they have leis that they're going to give their mothers.
Thank you, George, for taking care of them today.
Yes,
and
thank you, George. Top of the morning to you.
Yeah. Let's just give a special blessing to these beautiful children and all the children in the world, knowing they're healthy, strong, infused with love, perfectly expressing their creativity and their divine, amazing energy in this world and blessing this world at the same time. And so it is.
So it is.
Thank
So it
you. Woo.
And I heard rumor that Kamala brought these for mamas too. So thank you, Kamala.
Thank you, Kamala. And congratulations to Kamala, who
Kamala just graduated on
graduated
Friday.
from college. Woo!
So there you go. There we go.
Yay.
Lots of celebration
Lots
going
of
on.
celebration going on. All right. So if just to let you know, if you would like a prayer, a spiritual mind treatment, which is our form of prayer, we call it affirmative prayer because we affirm the truth. Deborah Vandate, our practitioner, will be up here today to hold consciousness with you. If you want to come up, it's wonderful. If you would like to put a prayer request in the box out there, the yes box, that's good too. So we are here for you in consciousness, should you need us. All right, so anything else? I think I
enjoy
keep feeling
some food afterwards. I see
Yeah.
a little table out there beautifully set, so enjoy.
have a wonderful, amazing day
Yes.
today, all right? And let's
Happy
just
birthday.
Happy birthday, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Let's close out, okay?
There we go.
And do our thank yous.
Keepers of the earth, keepers of the garden, keepers of the love and the light. Dance, 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 wherever you are. Keepers of the earth,
Shall we
keepers
dance?
of the garden, keepers of the love and the light. Dance, 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 wherever you are. Keepers of the earth, keepers of the garden, keepers of the love and the light. Dance, 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 wherever you are. Keepers of the earth, keepers of the garden, keepers of the love and the light. Dance, 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 wherever you are.
And I would like to give some thanks right now to the keepers of the service. People that helped today. Michelle, wonderful Michelle with her beautiful announcements. Wonderful greeters, Lynn Weiss and Katie at the door, greeting you. Deborah Randate for your amazing prayer and centering. Thank you so much and for all that you do. Thank you, Ron and Jonathan, for live streaming us out to the global community and for doing the sound, of course. Thank you for the flowers. My God, Karen Lieberman. And who brought the second one up? Was that? Who brought this? Loya. Was it Loya? Well, whatever. They're beautiful. And I will thank you. Come up and give me a oh, it was it was Arlena. Arlena, thank you. Thank you very much for the beautiful flowers. Yes, and thank you, Ron Stover and Analia and Rebecca for doing hospitality today and for all the wonderful food that's come in, and Reverend Diane, thank you for being in the bookstore today. And my God, thank you to you two, and we wish you well on your journey, Kaban and David,
Yes.
knowing that you're just doing amazing light work in the world, and thank you for all you do, and thank you for sharing your time here with us while you were here, and we'll be back, sure, in the fall, right? Yeah, and thank you to George back there. Thank you, mahalo, for
Thank you,
taking over the
Principal
kids
George.
today. And blessings out to Janice as she continues to heal, and to everybody in our community that might be needing something in some way. We send our love. And what I know today is that we did we're keepers of the light, keepers of the truth, and that we did hold a consciousness today that is special and wonderful and amazing and magnificent, and we do take it out into our lives. So I just bless that and give thanks for everything that transpired here today, knowing it was good, and I just let it be so as we affirm together, and so it is.
Keepers of the earth, keepers of the garden, keepers of the love and the light. Dance, 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 wherever you are. Keepers of the earth, keepers of the garden, keepers of the love and the light. Dance, 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 wherever you are. Keep dancing. Dance, 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 wherever you are. Dance, 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 wherever you are. Dance, 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 wherever you are.
Aloha. Have fun.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm trying to keep you. Yeah, you seem like the type. Oh, both? Both? Yeah. I heard you say, oh, you're big. Just be your friend. Oh, welcome.
Hey, welcome home, dude. Thank you. Yeah. Hope you'll come back and see us, you know?
Although I haven't touched it since I was trying to set you ready to last week.
I wasn't discerning. I wasn't discerning whether this was. You on call? Where wasn't you? Oh, I know. Yeah, we've got a minute.
I have one thing that anyone will recovering spiritually.
I always look at the stores or whatever. Look at something. Nice, feel bad. You know, just something you want to what are we going to do? It's like a we charge up to a spot, to a supply, then a supply, and it's sitting there. And it's real. 8,000 feet tall. Everybody here expects it. Smile like I need it.
Quite different here. I love the here. We have a massive community farm together. Every weekend morning and after 20 years, it's the 90 years
Remember the days. That's my favorite. Oh yeah, he's had the cheese in his house. I'm sitting in San Diego with all the kids.